Paul thinks that women make emotional decisions and men make logical decisions. I'd love to hear what you think.
We are the happy headers, and I contend that because women tend to be much more emotional in every aspect of the thinking, they bring emotions into everything, and that men can be much more clear-cut down the line and make the best logical decisions.
Oh my God, that's so untrue. Like, he's going to be slated here, I know he is.
But you see, I will concede that sometimes men think that they're making logical decisions, but really there can be an emotional bias. Because when we are faced with making a decision, we don't analyze all the data in our heads about what the decision should be, but we go to how we feel about it.
Yeah, and I think that's driven by the mother-in-law.
The mother-in-law?
Yeah, the mother. I think men are driven by their mother's opinions on things.
The mother's opinions?
Yeah.
Why the mother's not the father's?
Well, they just think like, oh, the mother's knows all and is all.
I know, but she was always telling you what to do.
Yeah.
She knew everything.
Just do what you're told. Like.
Yeah, but whether it was the right thing or whether it was the wrong thing. But I was listening to a podcast the other morning and I was talking about investment in things. And immediately it popped into my head, I'd invest in Apple.
Oh,
and I was thinking, I'd invest because I love Apple.
Yeah.
But then almost as if the guy in the podcast was reading my mind, he said, never invest in anything you've got an emotional attachment to. Because you're going to make an emotional decision on that and you're going to stick with it even if the share price is coming down and you go, oh no, I'm not going to abandon Apple now, they need me.
Isn't that funny? Like, even in the betting world, when people are gambling, they'll pick horses that they like the name of, or
it makes no sense.
And it makes no sense. They haven't assessed the horse to see, you know, what form are they in today or anything like that, to see is that a possibility actually that the horse is in good form and could possibly win, you know. Yeah,
you see, in our heads, what many people refer to as their past, I refer to that as a database. You've a database of life experience. And that database of life experience should allow you to make comparisons between things that you're experiencing now and similar things that have happened before.
Yeah.
And in fairness, your subconscious mind does do that in a split second. It makes comparisons and it tells you how you feel about the current situation. And so after that, then you decide what it is that you want to do. But the foundation of that decision has been based on how you felt about things that have happened previously in your database.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because if you look at all the greatest things that were ever invented in the world, none of those decisions were logical in the beginning. No. You know, they were all like the Wright brothers, for example, right? You know, they created the first aeroplane, the first thing ever to fly in the sky. And it was believed that their father was a preacher, wasn't he? And he said to them that they would burn in hell for even suggesting that human beings could fly. Yeah. You know, that it was ridiculous, it was so out there. But they, you know, put their logic, I suppose, to work then and started to put it together. Yeah, just they went against him. Yeah. But it kind of challenges that cognitive or, you know, that bias that's there, I suppose, from growing up. I mean, they were told from the father, of course, but the mother was probably behind them, encouraging them, you see.
Would you?
Come on, boys, you can do it.
Would you agree too that people, say in relation to gambling, they can be overconfident and think that because they're feeling lucky, that they're going to win? Yeah. And again, it's not based on logic at all. They just kind of go, this is how they perceive themselves in that moment.
But even if they lose, it doesn't bother them. They're just thinking about the money that they could have.
They could win.
They could have.
And even if they didn't win it on that go, the dice they might win it on the next go.
Yeah, they'll just keep going.
And logically, statistically, the more losses to get out of the way, then the successes must come.
The closer they are to a win.
To success, yes.
The odds of success then are closer.
Also, when we're making decisions, logical decisions, we are influenced by our peers and our society as well. The way your community or your family might think that you should make a decision.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been so many people like that, you know, have asked their parents for advice on different things.
On getting married. Should you marry that person? Is that person acceptable to the family, to the in-laws?
Maybe. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And if they weren't?
Most people got married anyway, in my view.
Right.
They really did.
Because you're not going to like your mother-in-law anyway.
I loved them and that's it. Exactly, so it's going to be a bit of a strife there, you know. But even in, you know, investments, for example, if you come from a family that's always been very frugal with money and they say, oh no, don't buy that now, you know, the prices could drop and you'll lose everything, and you know, then they're very negative about investment and taking chances with.
So your decision
things
then
like
is
that.
not your own, it's your family's decision?
Yeah, a little bit sometimes, all right, yeah. And that can make you afraid then. And, you know, I know that happened to my husband, like he was told not to buy this particular house. And then 2 or 3 years later, the house had literally quadrupled in price.
Yeah.
It was a huge loss. He was so annoyed he didn't go for it.
So he's better at making decisions regarding houses than you are about Audis.
Yes. I'm afraid so.
We are the Happy Headers, and we'll talk to you soon.